We give you the facts, it's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
What am I think? What am I think? You're listening to Popeye News Links. This is the Admiral Tibet who I represent, and remember, the time is so serious, cantankerous and dangerous. This is Popeye News Links.
Yeah man, jutatour.com, Pele Drive, pick up and drop off Ochirais, Montego Bay, Kingston. Hook me up at 366-3335. Yeah man, that got large like Popeye.
Greetings viewers and subscribers. Now, do you remember that Different Strokes will be held on Saturday, March 23 at the Waves Beach in Negril. Tickets are now on sale at UG's Better Buy in Lucy, Candid Expressions, 11 Restaurant, Carla Nail Salon and DNL Phone Shop in Savannah Lamar, World of Sports in Negril, and the Photo Shop in Montego Bay. You can also buy tickets at www.differentstrokesjamaica.com. Remember that Different Strokes is a mixed drink inclusive event and it is fully endorsed by Popeye News Links. Don't miss it. In the news today, this one took place yesterday afternoon, Saturday, March 9, almost 5:30. It took place in the vicinity of the Cedar Crest Plaza at Cedar Grove in Portmore in the parish of St. Catherine. We are learning that a team of police officers, acting on intelligence, they conducted a search in a section of bushes close to an open lot across from the Cedar Crest Plaza and bingo. One Taurus 9mm pistol with the serial number intact. It was affixed with a magazine containing 4 rounds of 9mm cartridges were found. No one was arrested in connection with this find, but intelligencers, big up on yourself, and Portmore police, job well done. This next incident, it took place last night, Friday, March 9, about 10 o'clock. It took place at the overhead bridge along the Dunbeholden Main Road in Portmore in the parish of St. Catherine. It is reported that a businessman in his late 50s, he's a licensed firearm holder. We are told that this businessman, he was driving his grey 2017 Toyota Hiace bus along the Dunbeholden Main Road when the bus hit a pothole. We are told that the man, he came out of the bus and he was examining the wheel to see if there was any damage when another vehicle drove up and stopped. 2 guys came out of the vehicle and asked the man if he needed any assistance. By the time the man could answer, one of the guys, he pulled a gun and choked down the man. The 2 hoodlums, they then proceeded to rob him of cash and his licensed 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 15 rounds of 9mm cartridges. The hoodlums, they then made good their escape in their motor vehicle. Just like that. Now, this next incident, it took place last night, Saturday, March 9, about some minutes to 10 o'clock. It took place at Canaan District in the Dumfries area of St. James. Our information is that a 21-year-old guy known as Johnny, he was riding his purple missile G150 motorcycle along the Canaan District Main Road when a hoodlum stepped out into the road with a gun in his hand. The hoodlum, he then opened gunfire at Johnny, hitting him to his right leg and his right index finger. Johnny, he ended up losing control of the bike, which crashed. The hoodlum, he then made good his escape on foot in the area. Johnny, he was assisted to a nearby hospital where he was treated and admitted. We are told that when the police processed this crime scene, 5 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. The Mayhem. Now, this next incident, it was clearly a hit. And the question investigators are grappling with is, where is this hit coming from? Now, I know that whenever a loved one is killed, family members, relatives and friends, they want to hear all the niceties about their loved one or friend. Some persons, they will say, don't speak evil of the dead. But like I always tell people, the truth cannot be evil. And sometimes our past or something that we do in our past, it catch up or caught up with us. That man on your screen, his name is Claude Henry Chamberlain, but people in the Waterbury and surrounding areas, they know him as Crampy. Crampy, he was born on December 11, 1960, 63 years old, and he lived in the Waterbury area. We are told that back in the day, Crampy, he was the man in Waterbury. We are told that Crampy, he was once the organizer for many community events to include football competitions and other social events. But there was a dark side to Crampy. We are told that Crampy, he was a coke smuggler who used to travel mainly to and from Panama and to and from the United States of America. We are told that on most of the occasions when Crampy used to travel, his stomach would be stuffed with the drugs. This ended when Crampy, he was held in the United States of America after he came off a flight. He was found with the drugs inside his body. Crampy, he was sent to prison, and at the end of his sentence, he was deported back to Jamaica. In May 2015, Crampy, he was arrested and charged by detectives at CTOC. He was charged for obtaining money by false pretense. This is after fraudulent checks for more than 2 million Jamaican dollars were drawn against a company's account. The money was then deposited in Crampy's bank account. We are told that that matter is still pending in the courts because a bench warrant was issued for the arrest of Crampy after he failed to attend court. In recent times, Crampy, he earned a living by selling stick weed at his home. So the question is, why was Crampy targeted? Because Crampy, he was clearly targeted. Yesterday morning, Saturday, March 9, about 9 o'clock, we are told that Crampy, he was sitting on his veranda talking to a friend when a white Toyota Axio motor car drove up and stopped. Two guys came out of the car, walked up to Crampy, who was sitting on the veranda, and told him that they wanted weed to buy. Crampy, he was about to sell them the weed when the two hoodlums pulled guns, juked down Crampy and his friend, and ordered them inside the house. When they were in the house, the hoodlums, they told Crampy's friend to lie face down on the floor. They then asked Crampy for money. Crampy told them that he only had 5,000 Jamaican dollars. The hoodlums, they then put their guns to Crampy's face and squeezed. Crampy, he fell to the floor, and the hoodlums, they ran out of the house without taking anything and boarded the white Toyota Axio motor car, making good their escape. Crampy, he died on the spot. The police, they were informed, and when they processed this crime scene, 3 9mm pen shells were recovered from the scene. The Mayhem. Now, we are heading over to Grange in the parish of Westmoreland. There were some mayhems in the area yesterday afternoon into last night. So, here is how the mayhem started. That guy on your screen, his name is Alex Anthony McKenzie, but he was popularly known as Badbad. Last week, Friday, March 1, Badbad, he celebrated his 22nd birthday. He lived at Crowder District in the Grange area of Westmoreland. That photo to your left is Badbad wearing a neck brace. Here's what happened. About 2 to 3 years ago, Badbad, he was riding a bike. It was night and there was no headlight on the bike that Badbad was riding. Badbad, he met into an accident with a guy who was riding another bike. As a result, both of them were seriously injured, and that is why Badbad, he was wearing that neck brace. We are told that the other guy who was involved in that accident, he demanded millions of Jamaican dollars from Badbad as compensation for his injuries. That money, in fact, no money was paid over, and that caused a bad vibes. As a result, it is said that Badbad, he was marked for death. On more than one occasion, attempts were made on Badbad's life. In January of this year was the last such occasion before yesterday. On that occasion, Badbad and another guy, they were on a bike when Hoodlums opened gunfire at them in the same Grange area. Badbad, he was not hit, but the other guy, he was grazed by a bullet. We are told that Badbad, he knew that he was marked for death, but he had nowhere to go. Yesterday afternoon, Saturday, March 9, about some minutes to 4 o'clock, Badbad, he was standing at the front of his gate when two hoodlums rode up on a motorcycle. Badbad, he saw them and ran off. Now, we are getting unconfirmed reports that Badbad, he was armed with a gun and he was able to fire shots at his assassins. Like I said, that bit of information is unconfirmed. We are told that the pillion on the bike, he was armed with an M16 rifle, and the rider, he was armed with a pistol. Badbad, he ran off, and the hoodlums, they opened gunfire at him. Badbad, he ran into a field behind his house where he fell, and the hoodlums went over him and pumped several bullets into his head, killing him on the spot. The hoodlums, they then made good their escape on the said motorcycle. The police, they were called, and when they processed this crime scene, 6 M16 and 7 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. In a little bit over half an hour's time, there was a reprisal attack for the killing of Badbad, a guy in his late 20s. He's living in the Salmon Street area of Top Lincoln in Grange. This guy, he was in the backyard of his home having a drink with family members when two hoodlums entered the yard through the front gate. The guy in his late 20s, he saw them and ran off, and the hoodlums, they pulled guns and opened gunfire at him. The guy, he managed to escape without being shot, but his white Nissan AD wagon motorcar that was parked in the front of the yard received several gunshot damage to the front and rear windshields. The next act of reprisal took place about 8 o'clock last night. It took place at Geneva district in the Grange area. That guy on your screen, his name is Ricardo Green, but he was popularly known as Ricky. Ricky was a 37-year-old bike taxi operator and he lived in the same Geneva district area. Ricky, he was riding his red Suzuki Access motorcycle and he was about to enter Geneva district when hoodlums opened gunfire at him, hitting him to his upper body. Ricky, he ended up losing control of the bike, which crashed along the roadway. The police, they were called and they rushed with Ricky to the Savannah Hospital where he was pronounced DEAD. We are told that when the police processed this crime scene, 13 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. But Ricky, he was not the only person who the cops rushed to the hospital with. But before I tell you about the next reprisal, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. have you hit on the love button as yet? If you have not yet done so, remember to hit on it. Also, if you are over here watching our videos and you have not yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. As also, hit on the notification bell. Then click all, so that whenever we drop a new video, you will be one of the first to be notified. In the final story for today, now, like I was saying, Ricky, he was not the only person who the police rushed to the hospital with. This next incident, it took place about 15 minutes after Ricky was shot. It took place on a nearby street named Robbery Street in the same Geneva district area of Grange. We are learning that a man. Now, this man, he is said to be the uncle of a guy who is in a conflict with other hoodlums. It is said that on more than one occasion, attempts have been made on the nephew's life. The uncle's name is Anthony Simit. He was a 50-year-old carpenter living at Geneva district. We are told that Anthony, he was riding his purple Cobra motorcycle when he stopped in front of a shop along Robbery Street. He was sitting on the bike when hoodlums opened a barrage of gunshots at him, hitting him to his head and his upper body. Anthony, he fell from the bike onto the roadway. The police, they were called and they picked up Anthony and placed him in the jeep beside Ricky. Anthony, he was rushed to the Savannah Hospital where he was pronounced DEAD. We are told that when the police processed this crime scene, 15 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. The mayhem continues. Blessed love, everybody.
Tell a friend for tell a friend for tell a friend about Popeye Newslink and PNL Blog TV. Like, subscribe and share. Quicksilver sing, if we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. If we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. Hey, crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. I coulda sunshine or rain. Jamaica, no problem, no pain. Rude boy them knock out can't tame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. To the street and the lane, everybody them start complain. Bloodshed, what a shame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica, the land of the sun. Jamaica become now the land of